Vin's three-point shot.
It's powering a guy, baby.
Red Bulls takes it to the half.
Hello there, Rough Rider fan. Well, hello there. It's Monday night. That means we are at the pizzeria. For another Coach Rick Meeks show. Rick Meeks, brought to you by Sabine State Bank. Tonight, the spring schedule is underway. We talk with Coach Moore about Rough Rider baseball. And then a conversation with Coach G. Gerardo Martinez, Coach G, about the upcoming soccer playoffs, Coach G, and the showdown with the Carthage Bulldogs. We also talk basketball and the honor recently bestowed upon Hiram Harris.
Portacool, with over 30 years. Portacool, peak cooling, intelligent control.
At Sabine State Bank, you have a lot of things going for you. It's a small.
Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
So many things get started at pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the pizzeria just off the square in Center.
Welcome, Rough Rider fans and fans of sports throughout East Texas and the world.
Fans of pizza.
Fans of pizza, yes.
Fans of pizza.
This is the counselor, Steve Charles, along with Chris Watlington. And then down at the other end is Larry, come on, ref, Pierce, who was yelling that out a lot on Saturday. Of course, this is brought to you by Sabine State Bank. Of course, we're live from the pizzeria with the greatest pizza in the known universe. But Scarlett Triple S Shires, in her next to last episode, as she has been corporately rated from us by J.P. Morgan, wanted me to remind everybody to thank you to Mooney's Emporium, which is one of my favorite places on the planet because I get my food stuff, I get my specialty T-shirts, I even get my presents for my wife.
There you go.
All that stuff in one place. That's Mooney's. That's right up there. That's Mooney's Emporium. So as I was saying, Wallington, you went down on Thursday and covered the Shelbyville. Going to talk about Shelbyville here in the Rick Meeks show early on. That's what you get, Coach, for not being here.
That's right. We'll hijack your program, but
Coach is busy.
But
Coach
I mean,
is busy.
it was important.
Coach is busy.
Yeah, it was really important. And of course, Washington got to call a huge win as Shelbyville took care of business in the semifinals, and then Pierce comes down there, drives down Saturday to cover the championship game, and Shelbyville comes just a little bit short.
Yeah.
literally their shots bounced off the front rim more often than not. It was just coming up short on. Right. They couldn't shoot. They did everything. Played defense well, moved the ball well. Good game plan.
Yeah, the one thing whenever it all came down to the final statistics, almost everything was exactly even except the 3-point shots. I think we went 2 of 11. They went 10 of 13, I believe it was, and that was the big difference. Because after it all said and done, after the 4 quarters, field goal percentage was there about the same, free throws, but it was the 3-point shoots, outside shooting that they were able to knock down a few more than what we
24-point differential.
Yeah.
It's hard to
and
compete
plus
with
it was such a fast-played game, and I think that kind of took away from what Shelbyville really likes to do as well. It was so fast. I mean, that first quarter lasted they put 8 minutes on. We were done in 10 minutes.
8 minutes. I mean, there was no timeout.
The first quarter lasted 8 minutes. I guess they went to the free throw line twice.
Well, maybe shut it down with it.
9.5 minutes.
So it was such a fast-played game.
8 minutes and 36 seconds. Right. I mean, there wasn't hardly any fouls either. Honestly,
nobody really got in foul trouble till the end of the ball game. But, very proud of the Shelbyville Dragons, and, they were representing there, and they had a good game plan. It just, fell short to a good team, and they had a young man over there that was knocking them down, and he did a really good job with it.
Defending state champs.
Yeah.
Shires and I have been doing center games since before video, long time ago.
Back when you had to have your kids for a remote control. Mm-hmm. There you go.
First game, we rode our horse up the long time, but Pierce's showed up and is allowing us to cover county teams, which means we are able to do what the county itself has always done. Since I've been born, when a county team gets hot and goes to state, the whole county pays attention. Mm-hmm. Any rivalries and stuff, that's on hold.
Right.
Because that's Shelby County, you know, and we're over here in the far reaches of nowhere, and you bond. Well, we've been able to do that with Timpson's football and Shelbyville's basketball, and so it was fun. I felt like part of the group.
Yeah, and you know there's a big rivalry between Joaquin and Shelbyville, right? Okay, there's always big. But, you know, on the way home, what am I driving with? A Joaquin Public School course. So they were some Joaquin people that went down from the school system. They were there at watching the game. Yeah, so, you know, that just lets you know how much it was and how much everybody was appreciative of everything. And it was just a great job and great guy.
Well, there were some center folks down there to support Shelbyville, but for another reason, too, which we'll get to in a minute. But before we do that, it is time to talk about our pizza of the night.
Okay.
We see here, because what we do is we get Coach Rick Meeks we get a pepperoni pizza just for him. It's over there, but we also model a different pizza. And this time we didn't go far from it. So we have some pizza, some wings, and some salad. Of course, we have
we have Larry's and wings. I'm just kidding.
That's right. That's right.
We're not going to get any of the wings.
But anyway, so we have a pepperoni with some sausage on it.
And
Coach Moore called for that.
Coach Moore likes you go either way. You're ambidextrous. Pepperoni only or sausage pepperoni.
Yeah, we can go either way. Yeah. So, of course, with that, we're going to salute our pizza of the night.
Salute.
There you go. Nice.
All right, now going back, we talked about Coach Harrison. We're talking about center people coming down to see Coach Harrison because we talked about we had Coach on last week, and he was honored with his 600 victories by a group of coaches anywhere. You were there, Wallington.
That's pretty cool, and we'll just let you kind of see firsthand how it went.
Hey, Dragon fans. Well, this weekend is all about Shelbyville in Round 7, the state finals. But there is another county basketball story this weekend, championship weekend. Hiram Harrison. As Shelbyville was wrapping up their semifinal at 11:45 yesterday, about 8 hours later in the semifinal of a 6A game, Coach Harrison took the floor.
How about that right there?
That's him right there being congratulated by the UIL on 600 career wins. Coach Harrison and 17 other coaches were recognized for career milestones, 500, 600, 700 wins. After the ceremony, everybody wanted a moment with the coach. In fact, there were enough cloudies present to make the Alamo Dome overcast. Most of the members of the 2024 Rough Riders were there. In short, a big day for the Harrisons.
What does that say right there?
This is Milestone Coaching Award, TABC Promotes Basketball, Hiram Harrison, 600 wins.
There were 17 other fellows there with you. That's a pretty illustrious group.
Yes.
And more of those 18 have fewer than your 600 wins than have more.
That's true.
Larry and Steven and I were talking about how we think, you're still kind of a spring chicken. You probably get 700, 800 here pretty quick.
It's a lot.
That's a bunch of them.
My body says something different.
Oh, I see.
We'll see how that works.
Okay. Well, tell me about today. It must have been pretty cool.
It was pretty interesting, pretty cool today. I saw some good basketball starting off with Shelbyville Dragons winning there.
Yeah.
Good finals tomorrow, so I'm proud of that group of people and community. And then we capped it all off with this celebration from TABC.
Pretty nice.
Very nice. My college coach came.
Yeah. 600 wins, and it's exactly 600 wins. He got his 600th win the last game we won this
Jacksonville.
year. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, what a great milestone, and what a wonderful way to share it with a handful of folks that kind of know what that takes. It was neat.
And Coach, we got to see Coach after the ball game. He was after the Shelbyville game too. We got to talk to him a little bit and talk about the honor and say congratulations to him. So good job, Coach.
Yeah, actually, he was a part of the post-game show, wasn't he, live on the win, and wouldn't let me talk about him. He wanted to talk about Shelbyville, so that's cool. So Tammy Steptoe Realty was the presenting sponsor of both those games. Have you ever noticed that Tammy Steptoe Realty is red, white, and black? There's a reason for that. She's a Dragon fan. Mm-hmm. So she was very happy to be the sponsor of the win and the loss, proud of the Dragons. We will hear from her and from Gaddy's Medical Supply, what you saw was the Gaddy's Medical Spotlight. So we'll be right back with Coach Moore of Rough Rider Baseball.
Gaddy's Medical Supply is your one-stop shop for all your medical supply needs.
Jack Allen, where's my ankle wrap stuff for my sore ankle?
Your ankle wrap or your Kinesio wrap?
The old guy wrap.
The ankle wrap. It's in the top bathroom drawer.
Okay, thanks.
If you are recovering from an illness or an injury, Gaddy's Medical Supply can offer you the support you'll need.
Jack Allen?
Yeah?
Where did I put the raised toilet seat?
Check behind the door.
Right.
From crutches to canes to chairs, Gaddy's Medical is there for you.
Behind which door?
The hall bathroom, Dad?
Okay.
Okay, take care of yourself or someone you love with Gaddy's Medical Supply.
Tammy Steptoe is where realty becomes reality. How do you know? Every time there has been a reader's favorite contest of the Light and Champion, they've won it. Whether it's your modest home you're looking for, or maybe a slightly less modest home, or your dream home, Tammy Steptoe has it. Or maybe it's a lakeside getaway or property to start all over. You need to trust the ladies at Tammy Steptoe Realty and Center.
Life is all about planning, and JBA Financial Services is here to help you with your financial future. Call or come by today to set up a consultation and discover what it's like to deal with the experts when it comes to investing for retirement or quality life and health insurance products. John Black, Jason Locke, and Michael Black are your experienced JBA Financial Services representatives, helping you to make the right choice for over 30 years, right here at home. JBA Financial Services, working to secure your family's future.
Batters Law Firm is your first choice in personal injury law. Jeff Batters and his staff lead the way in the area with best of Nacogdoches and best of Lufkin votes over the last several years. If your case matters, it's got to be Batters.
Welcome back, everybody. We appreciate JBI Insurance. Joe Bill Mattier Shires and I were just in the same room with Joe Bill.
We were.
At a committee meeting, and that's the thing. Joe Bill's all over the place. He does insurance, but he does Shelby County, and it's one way you evidence that is that he has a presence in every broadcast that we do, every sport, the band concerts, the banquets and award ceremonies. Mm-hmm. Good guy, JBI Insurance, right across the street from Tammy Steptoe Realty.
Yeah, I was about to say a relatively new name, but the same location.
Yeah. We're here. This is Chris Moore, Center Baseball. Has started your third year with us.
Yes, sir.
And I guess the thing that jumps out at you if you look at your roster is youth.
Yeah, yes, sir. We are very young. Throughout the beginning of the season, at any point in time, you can look out and you see anywhere from 3 to 5 freshmen on the field in a varsity baseball game, which is it's a rare occurrence at any point, but especially in 4A baseball.
Right. That's exactly. 4A baseball, you're going to be giving up, probably average 5-6 years of experience.
Yes, sir.
With guys that may or may not even be shaving yet.
Sure.
And it makes it difficult.
It has its ups and downs. But sometimes those guys, the guys that we have, they've been playing together for a long time. That group of guys that are coming up now have been playing on Center's tournament team their whole lives.
Yeah.
And
that helps.
At times, it looks like they don't know they're not supposed to be there.
Right. I don't think they've lost many games in anything that they've done.
No,
throughout their youth.
They have a lot of confidence, and it shows. A lot of times they play, amazing baseball. But then at times they're freshmen and they do some freshman things. But what's great about this group of kids young men, is that they're very, very resilient and they want to learn and they want to be great.
Okay, so they're coachable and
Absolutely.
talented.
Yes, sir.
Well, shoot. Then this is the best time for coaches.
100%.
When teaching with the theater stuff, when the competitive, when you had a young, talented group, when they didn't do well, it was like instead of being frustrated or put out, I was like, we're fixing to be so good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, let's work on that. We're fixing to be good.
Obviously, you want to win right now. And that's our goal. Our goal is obviously make the playoffs, but it's exciting. It's an exciting thing to have such a young group of guys that are willing to learn and willing to they're willing to try everything they can to be great and put it out on the line. And just to know we got a great future ahead of us.
Did you have something? I felt like I interrupted you a while ago.
Oh, no, that's good. I always got a question. But so did Cash Cross come out this year?
Yes, sir. He's been playing some center field for us.
There we go. So I know he played as a youth, but is it good to have him out there mixing in with those kids?
It is, and I think a lot of it is just the Cash Cross factor.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been such a big part of what we do athletically, not just football, not just basketball, but how Coach Meeks and the staff has tried to change things and get things going in a certain way, and Cash has obviously been a big part of that. And we rely on his leadership. Like we talked about a minute ago, we're very young. We have Kobe Lout, who's our returning starting catcher.
That's the one place where you really need experience, right?
100%. 100%. Now, we've got some young guys that are pretty good behind the plate too, but Kobe just brings a different kind of energy back there, a different kind of leadership, and he's really embraced that. And Cash, we lean on Cash in the leadership aspect, not so much vocally, but in how he goes about handling his day-to-day business.
Yeah, that's right. And then is Wilburn out this year?
Lance is not playing.
Okay,
Lance,
so he's
focused
on track.
He's focused on track, and he's going to play football at SFA.
Yeah. I was going to say because of course we got Cash with some speed out in the outfield.
Yes,
you lost a lot there, but I guess who's our pitching staff?
Right now, our number one, our guy that we've been going to is Logan Horton.
Right.
He's a 3-year starter. He's pitched all 3 years. He's worked his way up, and he's become our number one this year. And we played Kilgore last Tuesday in a knockdown drag-out game. 2-1 the wrong way.
Right.
But that game could have gone either way, and Logan came out and pitched a lights-out gem.
Excellent.
And he's been doing that all year for us. And then our
now, when he's not pitching, is he third base or shortstop?
It kind of depends. If T.J. Bellin is on the mound, then Logan slides over and plays some shortstop. If Easton Wolf is on the mound, which Easton's our number 2, a freshman. And he's also starting at third base. And when Easton's on the mound, then you have Logan over at third. So it just kind of depends on who's making. We have a little triumvirate between third base, shortstop, and the bunk. Oh, okay. And so it's kind of those 3 guys. And then our number 3 right now is another freshman, Conrad Shahan, he's been pretty stinking good up there as well. But our 1 and 2 going through district right now is Logan at the top, and then Easton and Conrad behind him.
Oh,
and then we've got a stable of relievers, most of which are, you guessed it, freshmen.
That's incredible. But yes, I've watched this group grow up through watching Little League. I mean,
yes,
my kids were too old for me to be.
I've been following these guys since I got here.
Yeah. I have one more question generally about the program, and then we need to ask you about Henderson coming up tomorrow. Your third year now. You're halfway through it.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure you've not learned anything unique about baseball in that 3 years, but every culture, every place is different. And 3 years in, you're probably making decisions based on feel and information different than when you first got here. So what have you learned about the program, about baseball and center, now that you wouldn't have known when you coached your first game?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Yeah, I probably should have given you that in advance.
Yeah, a little text message about noon today.
A little heads up. Yeah. And you're welcome to defer to that, and we'll answer it later. But because I don't want you to, make something up and go, that wasn't right. But it's interesting to me because I was here forever. I never went to a new place. My third year was the same as my 10th and my 20th.
Sure.
And so I always like to hear that from colleagues and former colleagues.
I don't know that it's any one thing in particular. It's just I don't know. There's there's a vibe this year that's just a little bit different, and our record might not show it. But we have a lot of fun at practice. We have a lot of fun on the road. We have a lot of fun at tournaments. We have a lot of fun at games. We have a lot of fun in the dugout. And I don't want to say that we haven't had fun the last 2 years. I don't want to do that at all. But I don't know. It's something that's a little bit different that I think it's still kind of young in the season to really put my finger on it. But I think it's really starting to come together. Where, like I said earlier, some exciting things are going to start happening.
That's great, but you don't get to mow.
No, I don't. And I'll plug Scott Sanford at Sanford and Sons.
Yeah.
They've. If you guys haven't been out to the ballpark lately, the grass is incredible, and it's incredible to think that in November, if you came out to Rough Rider Stadium, the baseball and softball field were all completely dirt. They came in with box blades and scraped everything took our fences down, completely stripped the entire infield, outfield, everything off in the baseball and softball fields. And you go out and look at it now, and those guys have done just an incredible job.
That's great.
The grass is starting to look like carpet, but I do miss my, as Mr. Shires called it, my therapeutic
lawnmower therapy.
Yeah. I think we were going to call it Chris's cuts last year.
Yeah.
But I do miss my mowing, but it's nice to be able to come out to the ballpark, and Scott Sanford and his group have done an incredible job on our field.
Right.
And when our kids have something they're proud of, they're proud to play on.
Yep.
It makes them play just a little bit harder.
Have you named the field?
I've heard 10 different names. I mean, we got the shoe, we got the hole, we got rough. I just call it Rough Rider Field.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Then that's what it'll be. The football field's the ranch now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's right. That was
towards the end of football season. No, not with.
not on soccer,
Yeah.
baby. It's something else.
Okay. Well, I like that stuff, but whatever we settle on will be
calls
fine.
calls it the shoe.
Yeah.
The
Well,
baseball field
yeah.
because it's the shoe.
Yeah, I've heard it called the shoe a number of times.
That's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool.
Well, tell Shires about Henderson. He will be doing the game tomorrow with his daughter and with Jason Locke. Tell us what we're facing with the Lions.
Henderson's returning a lot of guys from their team last year. They were a playoff team.
Yeah.
They've got their shortstop and leadoff. My opinion, one of the best in the district. He was the district offensive player of the year last year. He's unbelievably fast. Hits for power, hits for contact. If he gets on, he's looking to do some damage on the base path.
Right.
Their pitching they've got a lot of lefties. I have 0 lefties. They've got a lot of lefties, and their lefties are all pretty good. I think we're going to get one tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure, but I think we'll get the Biggs kid that they threw against Carthage last Tuesday. He's a lefty. He has some pretty wicked off-speed stuff. Again, from the left side of the plate. They're they're a really, really, really scrappy team. I mean, we played 3 knockdown dragouts last year. The best, in my opinion, being the one we played at Nacogdoches in the rain, and managed to squeak one out there. But they're one of those teams. If you let them hang around, then they're never out of the fight. And they're dangerous 1 through 9.
All right. Well, we look forward to it again. That's 7. Is it first pitch 7 o'clock?
First pitch 7 o'clock. JV 4:30. Varsity first pitch 7 o'clock.
All right. So, folks, everybody, come on out. It should be a beautiful night. You can come out. You can watch, and then you can pipe us in. Locke's beautiful call into your ear.
It's sonorous, and it's also about 5 seconds behind. So if you're confused, you can hear him.
He can
clarify it for you. Yeah.
But if you can't make it out, tune in here on NetSN. We're going to have this game. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see the team. Cannot wait.
Can't wait to have you guys there.
Our sponsor of the night is Chris Mayfield. He's been, like the last 4 or 5 basketball seasons, the Mayfield free throw line, and we adopted that through the state the last 4 games of Shelbyville's run as well, and before that he was the State Farm Red Zone.
Yeah, and in soccer he's the Chris Mayfield State Farm free kick or penalty kick.
Penalty kick. So, I mean, he's everywhere. Yep. Chris Mayfield, State Farm. We'll hear from him, and we'll be right back with more of the Rick Meeks Show, who is not here right now.
What's that old State Farm slogan? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Well, that could not be a better description than Chris Mayfield of Mayfield State Farm. Since he came to town close to 20 years ago now, he has been the quintessential good neighbor. It's the same thing true of his insurance agency, Chris Mayfield State Farm. Center Motor Company. From whatever angle you look at it, you see Ford. Ford trucks, SUVs like the Bronco, and iconic cars like the Mustang. A legacy managed by Kevin Jones and created by Ray Jones. Center Motor Company on Hurst Street in Center. At Sabine State Bank, you have a lot of things going for you. Live from the pizzeria, you're watching the Coach Rick Meeks Show. Brought to you by Sabine State Bank.
Everybody, welcome back to the Coach Rick Meeks Show, live here from the pizzeria, brought to you by Sabine State Bank. Now it's time to turn to our soccer segment. We have Coach G. Coach, we're on a roll, baby.
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you so much for having me here today. Since the last time that we've done it a couple of times, I definitely look forward to this little segment, and I think it's something special. So, thanks for having me.
Oh, good deal. Definitely. So, so since we've been covering, we went out and beat New Diana. Mm-hmm. We just previous to that, we beat Kilgore.
Yes.
And then we took care of Henderson Friday night in a physical. I mean,
that was a crazy
physical game.
Yeah.
Physical match.
And got Tennehaw too.
And we got Tennehaw in there, which was an interesting match because, again, it's kind of like almost like an inter-squad scrimmage, right? Because those guys, they know each other so well.
Yeah, that's the thing with Tennehaw is that those are your local kids from the youth league soccer that pretty much all of my kids are very familiar with, and vice versa. And so now that we face them twice a year in district, they're very familiar with each other. It gets kind of chippy because they know what buttons to push.
Right.
And that can lead to certain things which we don't like because it can put players in positions where they miss the next game because of, whatever was said, and so now there's a lot of pushing and shoving, and that's just kind of like what the game kind of turned into versus Tennehaw, and then we're at the pit. And that the only good thing was that the rain really didn't hurt the surface for us to be able to have a good game. So
I really felt like they scored a goal, and it was you have to admit it was a beautiful goal that Tennehaw scored. It was a corner Randy Collard corner kick into a header. Yeah. But I really feel like we really dominated that match. We really played most of it at midfield on into their side of the field.
Yeah, we were up, if I'm not mistaken, I think we were up 2-0.
Yes.
And we gave them a free kick that led into a corner kick, and then they just placed the ball in the air. And whenever you see it, if you're that type of coach that you love energy and you just go get it, you appreciate that goal, even if you are on the other side of it. Yep. And that's where I was. I saw that kid come through there and just, by any means necessary. And, I almost clapped for him because that was a really, really, really good goal because you don't get to see those, even with the top teams. Sometimes you got kids on teams that they're just scrappy and by any means necessary.
Yep. The good news for Timpson Tennehaw was a great play, but the bad news is that was really not much else really serious offensive challenge to us. And then we play this thing on last Friday. Again, that was real chippy. At least it appeared to me.
That's the first time I've ever seen a red card in a high school soccer game, and I haven't called a whole lot of them, but that's the first time I've ever seen one in a high school soccer game.
Was that? And that had to have been their plan was to try to have a physical presence against us.
Yeah, like for some reason, Henderson has always played us that way. I don't.
Maybe that's how they play. I don't know.
And see, I would say that it's because of the coaching that's in place, but this is their second coach since I've been here, and they've always played that way. I don't know if that style of play is something that they teach from the youth league.
Right.
But I haven't seen anything like it. I mean, I played against teams that play you tough.
Yeah.
But borderline like.
It cost them.
Yeah,
I mean, it cost them because I mean we got 2 goals I think off of free kicks or penalty kicks that I thought was. I mean, and again, I enjoy physical play, but I thought it was kind of unnecessary, kind of dumb.
It was.
Really.
I mean, the referee issued, I think it was total of 6 yellow cards for them.
Yeah.
And then the one player that received the red card, it was because of yellow card accumulation.
Yeah, sure.
And even though the second yellow was just a dumb, I think it was more frustration.
Right.
And.
Honestly,
Honestly,
it took me a second to say, why did they make that call?
Yeah,
it took me a second.
There was one of them, but most of the time we were like, wow. But again, it just seemed like there was a couple of times, especially where in the part of the field where it happened, that it turned out to be very, very bad. What I liked is that our players, by and large, I mean, we responded appropriately, but didn't get in trouble and didn't, do anything to harm that game or the future games. So I think that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I was really impressed by them, and I told them that at the end of the game. I definitely loved the way that they, stuck their chest out and, just kept pushing forward. And it's like I mentioned to you after the game. It's something that I've been preaching since we played Kilgore, is that you have to be emotionally responsible with yourself, because you're going to be hit with this, with that, and you have got to control yourself, because unfortunately, there's teams that's their go-to.
Yeah.
And that just shows a lack of skill, a lack of preparation in their part.
Well, I mean, if you don't have as much skill as the other team, you got to do something to try to even the playing field.
Yes.
But again, so with this stretch run of victories, again, the Henderson victory was huge.
Yes.
Because we got the 2-point differential too.
We got So we got a 2-goal differential with them and Sabine, right?
Correct.
So
Yes. Actually, we went into overtime with Sabine, and I didn't realize it till obviously we won 6-4, but I didn't realize that really. I didn't even take a moment to realize that was a blessing.
Yeah.
Because if we would have won 4-3, we would have been tied in differentials.
Yes. That's
so we went into overtime and we notched 2.
Right.
And then score was 6-4. And I was at home eating, and then it just kind of clicked. I'm like, okay, thank you. That we'll take it, because it was definitely better for us.
So again, vis-a-vis the Henderson and Sabine, we're in front of them. Now, of course, we have 2 games left.
Yes.
We have Carthage and Tatum.
Yes.
And we have to take care of business.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
But assuming we take care of business, that locks us into second.
Yes.
In a home game, right?
Correct. Yeah. So we agreed amongst districts that the first and the second team of said district host the first playoff game.
Right.
Which that's been unheard of, but it's something that I definitely enjoy, because I don't have to go look for a stadium midway point. So I think that's awesome. And and with these last 2 games, as long as we take care of business, the goals don't matter, because mathematically speaking, it doesn't go to goal differentials. It goes to head-to-head, because we matched everything. Unfortunately, we dug a little hole, and we really could have, because we even won the head-to-head versus Kilgore by 1 goal.
That's right.
So it's like if that would have continued on and Kilgore would have lost a few, we would have been talking about a district title. That in this district, it's something very impressive.
Right. Absolutely, because I mean, this has got to be one of the stronger districts in the state.
Right? Yes. And so, like how you mentioned, Kilgore at the time was ranked number 2. And that was a huge win for us, just so that the kids can start really believing in themselves and their ability to play the way that that we train and we practice. So that's and just the streak that you just touched on too. That's why we're on this streak, because we have bought into everything and we're trusting the process.
And I've told you this. We've talked about this in our post game shows and maybe here before. This may be. And again, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm the biggest expert in soccer out there. But really, in many ways, this seems to be one of the more skilled teams that I've seen us have, and as far as our dribbling and our passing.
And they play so well together. That's the passing.
Yes. And then the ability, I think you talked about this before, the ability to get those through balls and not draw in offsides.
Yes, because like we do a really good job of drawing teams offsides. I think versus Kyoto we had a total of 8 that we drew on them, and teams get frustrated. And it's something that if we do it well, we also have to understand how to counter it well. And in order to do so, all your players and teammates have to be on the same page.
Right.
And all that comes, and the way that you get that is with good training and good practice and everybody being engaged. And so then on top of that, you have good skill from individual players, and it definitely is one of my the teams, because I've been here going on to 7 years, and it's definitely one of my top teams as far as individual skill goes. And that just that's a blessing for any coach, and I'm just glad that I have the right tools that I can implement, with the kids' abilities.
Okay.
Well,
go ahead, Larry.
I just like you because I'm really impressed by your back line. They get back in position so well to help out your goalie. I don't know how many times I talked about how well that back line does to help your goalie out so well. They do such a great job. That's a big part of your team too.
It definitely is, and those guys have been working really hard. I've had to change a couple of players just to find the right combination of guys. I think that's why the first game versus Sabine, we dropped that game, and then the second game versus Henderson, same thing, we dropped that game because the combination of players wasn't quite there yet. And then once we figured it out, we show up to Kilgore and we just blow it out, because like the things that you just touched on, like the back line and how they get back, how they step up, how they shadow each other and help out, those things are just crucial, because you can have the best forwards in the state. If you don't have those 4 guys in your back line that can move as one, I mean,
you'll be in trouble.
You can score them, but you're not going to be able to stop them. So,
exactly.
So yes, I definitely can shine some light on those guys, and I'm thankful that they have figured it out.
Right. Yeah, they have done a great job.
Now, I want to go back because I'm kind of embarrassed because I got the number wrong. Number 10.
Yes.
Who is number 10?
It's Danny Flores.
Flores.
Yes, sir.
So Danny Flores. So if Danny's mom and grandma are listening, Danny Flores, number 10. He's the maestro, right? The maestro.
He's the player of the game against Tenaha. He was a great assist and to lead to some goals. I think Sharon Hours.
I mean, his footwork and and all the stuff he does, it's amazing.
Right.
I mean, it is fun to watch.
Oh, I love it. And one of the things with Danny is that, he's not the most physically menacing player on the field.
He's a little big guy.
He's little, but for that's his physical size, he has it in skill. And one of the things that worried me was the physicality.
Right.
But he moves so well, and he has the ball so well that just the physical nature that other players try to impose on him, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So
let me give you an example. So there's this one play.
Yeah.
I remember he gets it. He has the ball. He controls it. He kicks it up in the air to himself.
Yeah.
Kicks it through the legs of the defender,
Yeah.
and it goes and then fakes a shot, and then passes it to the man in the middle.
Yeah.
And for an easy score.
No, and see, the thing with those plays is that we get to see it every day in practice.
Yeah.
And I'm blown away every single time, because not every play is the same as the last play.
Right.
And I've learned to just appreciate everything, even in practice. Like, I get to see him do certain things. And whenever Mr. Shires, mentioned that the maestro nickname, it couldn't be more fitting for him.
Yeah, right. Well, 2 other players I like to number 7 and number 14.
Yes.
Who's those?
So number 7 is Braxton Rowley.
Braxton Rowley.
He's a striker, one of my seniors. And number 14 is Edwin Rodriguez Moreno. And again, he's also a senior and one of my strikers as well.
Right.
Yeah. Two. I mean, there are many of them out there, but we always seem to remember that number 7 and number 14 out there quite a bit out there.
Yeah. Those are the guys. Well, what I think is cool about it, I mean, man, they run. When we get those through balls, they run those things down.
Yes, they do. And it's, I wish they would score more than, because we give them balls, through balls, and just great passes from El Maestro and also from my wingers. And, but we have been playing against tough teams. But just to watch those guys run and how they get down the field, to me, it's very impressive.
It is.
Right. And, and you can't say enough about your goalkeeper. That guy's got to be the one that they're – and he is just, he done a great job.
At one point, we were considering him for player of the game because he kind of huge plays against Henderson.
Yes, he's a sophomore at that, and one of my worries with him was his height. And because he's always played goalkeeper through the youth league, and he's a great field player as well. I mean, he's pretty good. But he wanted to play goalkeeper, and I'm not going to change his mind. I'm like, okay, if you can play the position the way the position needs to be played, well, let's go for it.
I'm trying to remember which game it was. I can't remember if it was New Diana or one of them. They did a free kick from just that right distance. Remember, do you remember that, Pierce?
Yeah.
Remember he got maybe it was. I don't think it was Tenhall.
No,
but,
I think it was Henderson.
But or it was Henderson. But I mean, it looked like it was going in. It was like the guy kicked it.
Yeah, it was Henderson.
And then, but our goalkeeper got up and just.
Enough.
I mean, but I mean, he was this high off the ground, and tips it right over. I mean, just perfect.
It's because they see him that he's short in stature, but Pablo can get up, and he has a great eye for the ball, and he can measure it, and he understands too that teams are going to try and take crazy long shots on him that they wouldn't take against anybody else because they see that his stature is not a traditional height for a goalkeeper, but it's like I told him, I'm like, mijo, there ain't nothing traditional about you. You're special and you're one of a kind, so let's go get it. And he does. And one of the things that I want to shine light on for him is that when he came in, I worked with him on utilizing the drop kick.
Right. Yes.
And he has the most beautiful drop kick I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In fact, he assisted Braxton when we played Tenhall. With
that's
the
right.
On the third goal.
Yeah, that's right.
With
yes,
the drop
he
kick.
did.
And he's came close a couple of other times versus other teams because they don't really.
They don't think he can kick it that far.
Yeah, and it just flies. So with the drop kick, the thing is that most teams punt it.
Yeah.
And what happens when you punt it? It just goes straight up. It does. There's nothing really counterattacking on it. But when Pablo drops it, it just shoots like a canyon.
Yeah.
And we got speed. We got 14 and 7, Braxton and Edwin, and that's the ultimate thing you can do.
Maybe we can get him on Friday nights in the fall. I mean, if you can drop kick one of them oblong things.
Oh, we're going
that's some extra.
Yes.
That's 2 points.
That's
yes. No, we're going to. He's. I mean, once we get into the pigskin and into Friday Night Lights and all that good stuff, Pablo will probably be somebody that we talk about as well. So
Awesome.
I'm excited for that.
We definitely can need that. That's for sure.
For sure.
Well, and one thing too, real quick, is I love listening to Shires. Is that this is what the riders do, and he's got the runners running, and we're trying to hit him coming off on the side over here, to kind of get out in front of everybody, and that's kind of like the old what do you call it, bread and butter play in soccer there for you guys.
Oh, it's for sure. I mean, Danny's our guy. And he's the guy that there's things that we train, but if we can break it down to like the simplest thing, it's just a give and goes.
Right.
Your give and goes, and especially guys like Danny, El Maestro, that has that touch. Because sometimes, you can have a really athletic guy. If he doesn't have the touch, you're never going to get that give and go. And I think that's our and also the third man run. A lot of people don't understand a third man run, but it's something that we train a lot as well. And I feel like that's one of our biggest keys. Is that third man run? I call it the forgotten player. Why? Because you got the ball, you pass it, he passes it to another guy. In the meantime, you're already on your way.
Yeah.
And then everybody forgets you. And so and then it took me to explain it that way for my guys to get it, and now they got it, and it's a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah, and it works out really good.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
It.
Look, all I know is there's a lot of running, and they're fast.
And they are very fast.
And if you want to run like those guys, you can go see Chris Wallington and join him at the Forge.
Oh, yes, sir.
Is he at the Forge now?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yes, he is. But that's where you can go and get – Danbert will get you in shape. Probably not as in shape as the soccer players, but he can get you
can be pretty
moving
close,
that way.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, folks. Well, thank you, Coach. We
Yes,
look
sir.
forward to finishing off the season, and
Yes,
then
sir.
we move into the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
And I'm anticipating a deep run.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think there's quite a few people that have that same sentiment about us and people that are not even in Shelby County that actually have us picked to make a pretty special run this year. And all the hard work and dedication that our kids have been putting forth, I think we're going to see the fruit of that.
And you're going to be able to watch it on NetSN.
For sure.
Right. And so where's the state championship at?
It's in Georgetown.
Yeah.
Georgetown. Oh, nice. Okay, that's cool. Awesome.
Yeah, that's a lovely stadium for soccer. I can tell you that.
Yeah, there we go. Awesome. So there we are.
All right, folks, that's our soccer update from Coach G. We're going to hear from our monthly sponsors along with Fast Tex, and we'll be right back with more of the Rick Meeks Show here live on NetSN.
Your Center Rough Rider winter sports schedule brought to you in part by Ace Hardware. Ace is the place in Shelby County for the helpful hardware folks. Brookshire Brothers, beginning its 103rd year as your neighborhood market. And Covington Lumber Supply. If you need it to build or repair, you find it at Covington's. Right, taxes. We all got to take care of them. We all got to pay them. But do you really understand the rules? Or are you like me, you just know they're out to get your money? Well, you need Fast Tax, and you need it fast because you put it off the very end, so now you have to get really, really quickly, and your money and your return is waiting for you. At Fast Tax, Center, Texas. So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center.
Welcome back to the Rick Meeks Show, brought to you by Sabine State Bank, live from the pizzeria where we have enjoyed two different pizza pies. They're awfully good. Our boy Larry, off camera now, is smacking down on some on barbecue wings. Yeah, they're good.
Some hot wings, maybe.
Yeah, not just barbecue, hot. That's what I meant. So it's time for something to smile about, brought to you by Wyndham Family Dental. And there's lots to choose from. I'm going to go to you first, Mr. Shars.
Well, so I said the maestro, but how did Coach G say it?
He didn't say it as loudly as you did.
Well,
but
I know,
thought
but
you did good,
I
maestro.
thought it was. I had like 5 syllables. I think his was maestro.
Yeah.
But I think I'm smiling about because I think it's going to stick. I think it's going to stick.
Oh, you called him that?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that's what they called him.
No.
And oh, wow.
No. I think
pretty good.
I think I've got one. I mean, we normally get one or two every year that sticks. You know, we had the assassin, we had the wrecking ball.
Yeah.
The bulldozer.
We hadn't really got one this year. We need one.
Yeah. And so the maestro.
The maestro. I like it. That's something to smile about. Mine is a number 600.
Yes.
Coach Harrison, and he was so. He's so cool. He was not giddy or anything at state when he was recognized, but you could tell he was so pleased.
Yes.
He had folks he worked with. Ariana and I taught with them. They were there. Former staff members and players, and some of the players were SFA Lumberjack players he played with, in the 80s, and just most of the Rough Rider team this year was there. So I mean, it was just a great group. And
I mean, just in case you don't know, I mean, Coach is in the SFA Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
and if there were a Rough Rider Hall of Fame, he would have to be in it. And there aren't just a whole lot of coaches in the last 20 years that would. They come through too much. It's they have success, then they go. So he's been here a while. He's planted, and he's made a difference. So that's something to smile about.
So, Coach, here's to getting 700.
Yeah, 700. My glass is empty, but I'm going to drink something here in a second. We'll close up and tell you what's on deck here at NetSN this week in Shelby County and beyond after we hear from some of our sponsors that have been so good to us this basketball season. We'll be right back.
From Matthews Realty, going above and beyond is what's expected. This is agency owner Colin Matthews. Our team of seasoned real estate professionals believe in giving their clients an advantage in any real estate transaction. Matthews Realty has a reputation of highly personalized service. Matter of fact, it's our #1 priority. From commercial and residential properties, poultry farms to beach rentals, our team works hard so you don't have to.
Call Matthews Realty 598-7800 or see their complete listings at matthewsrealty.com.
Need brand new construction from the ground up or a remodeling job? Ricky Andrews can do it all. Whether it's tile for the floor or reimagining a space in the house. Something wonderful with the bathroom. And oh, what he can do with kitchens. Find him on Facebook or give him a call at 591-2233. Ricky Andrews Construction. Chances are, if you live in Shelby County, you work hard to provide a home, to keep your farm and your ranch moving, to keep your life hitting on all cylinders. But you never know when misfortune will strike, and any of those things can be damaged. That's why you need Matt and Mallory Snyder at Tomlin Insurance, so that you and your investments can rest easy. Rest assured with Tomlin.
It's the Rick Meeks Show, live from the Pizzeria, brought to you by Sabine State Bank. Thank you, Sabine State Bank, for being so faithful to help us make this kind of stuff happen. Appreciate you. And, of course, Pizzeria for dinner. I appreciate it a bunch. So where are we going to be this week? I'll be in center with Larry Pierce Friday for the Henderson soccer game.
Right.
You're going to be taking Scarlett away from us.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Got one last chance to try to lure her back.
Yeah. But where will you be?
On Tuesday, me and Jason Locke. And are you going to stop by for a minute?
If I'm in town, yes. If I'm not, yes.
Right. So Jason Locke and I will be at the shoe, as he likes to call it.
I like it.
I do too. And we're going to be there to call the Center Rough Rider versus Henderson Lion baseball game. I think it's going to be an interesting affair. I think it's just, I can't wait to see, because I remember us playing Henderson tough last year.
Yeah, I wasn't there, but I remember hearing about it, and you and Jason were impressed.
Yeah.
And then Larry, the busiest amongst us, he'll be joining me for in Shires' absence Friday for the soccer game, but tomorrow he is in Joaquin.
That's right.
Where Joaquin plays Timpson, yes? Joaquin plays Shelbyville. That's softball. And then the following day, on Wednesday, he'll be in Shelbyville where Timpson starts. It's a home and home. They're playing each other back to back.
No, Joaquin and Shelbyville are playing Monday, and Timpson and Shelbyville are playing
that's it.
Playing Wednesday. So we'll get that right here in a second.
We get Shelbyville twice, but once in Joaquin and once in Shelbyville. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, I'm not very smart, but that's where Pierce is going to be. So 3 games in the next 4 days for Larry Peace. We hope you enjoyed the Rick Meeks Show. He is busy at a track meet tonight.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach. We know you're busy. We're giving you trouble about not being at your own show, but he's out handling a junior high track meet, which I bet you he's firing the gun.
He's got to choose between being at his own show or his own track meet. So I mean, you got to make decisions.
Sometimes when you're the boss, you have to go. You have to clean the restroom.
But it is the Rick Meeks Show, live from the Pizzeria, brought to you by Sabine State Bank. Thanks to those guys. Thanks to our guests, Coach Moore and Coach G, Coach Gerardo Martinez, and a big thank you to Steve Waters for bringing the show to you. See you here at NetSN tomorrow night for Rough Rider Baseball, and also at NetSN for Shelby County Softball. See you then.
At Sabine State Bank, you have a lot of things going for you. So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the Pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the Pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center. Evans' three-point shot. It's good. Powering shot, baby. Red Horse takes it to the house. This has been a presentation of the Rough Rider broadcast team, brought to you by Watlington and Shires Productions.